Hi boys and ghouls, welcome to my Halloween edition. So welcome to the Pink Poodle. Today we're gonna do something really fun and easy. We're gonna do skull cakes. These are really easy. I did these last year. I love them. I have this mold. It's a Nordic mold. I do recommend that you get Nordic. We're gonna use this again for next week. I'm gonna do Mexican gelatina. I'm gonna do Dia de los Muertos, and we'll also do a spooky skeleton skull type. You're gonna need whatever box mix you like. I'm just gonna go with traditional Betty Crocker, and as well as with the icing. You can make this all from scratch if you like, but like I said, I'm just doing it the easy route. I did want to show you my kitchen. I've updated it. I made it a little bit spooky but cute. In theme with the whole retro. I really love Joanna Parker designs. If you're familiar with her, she makes the cutest things, and this little Mr. Boo is hers, and so are all the designs. The curtains, everything you kind of see around comes from her. So I'm really excited because she's going to be throwing out new designs next year. I did want to kind of show you a walk around the kitchen, which I did not do last time. Part of the reason I did mention is because we're in quarantine, and I got this awesome little shelf from Vintage.pink.poodle Restorations, and I essentially put all the stuff that was on the table in there. So now I can show you a full 360. So if we walk around, this is like an IKEA Costco cart that I got. It's got a lot of things on it. I really love, obviously the pink poodles, but also if you see down there, a lot of Star Wars. My husband gave me that. He's a big Star Wars fanatic. So if you even go up on the sliding doors, you'll see I have a lot of like the sheep / poodles, which I absolutely love. I have that all year round. And then you come over here, I have a little corner hutch. I have all my vintage aprons. And then of course, I'm really lucky. My husband got me a poodle Kit Kat. They're so rare. And this beauty is what I want to kind of show you quick. It's my baby's birthday today. She turned 2. Stella, you want to say hi, Mama? You want to say hi? Oh, my baby. We're going to sing her happy birthday. So if you guys have dogs, I definitely recommend it. This is carob, so it's the equivalent of chocolate. So I actually use their icing. I usually make my own icing with cream cheese, maple syrup, a little bit of maple syrup, which they love. But I wanted to do their icing because I kind of wanted to show you what their cake is. We actually got their mold. So if you ever use a mold, make sure you put a sheet pad on the bottom so it doesn't bend. So you can finally see I have a really cute little dinette table, and this is the baby that we just got. So everything that was essentially on top of this table we put in here, so it opened up the space. So now we can actually sit on our table. So let's get ready and let's start making this cake. So one of the tricks that I do when I do a box cake, I use hot water to bloom the flavor of the chocolate, kind of like caffeine. You really want to bloom it. So I'm boiling the water right now. I put it on the kettle. Instead of oil, I'm going to substitute with butter so I can give it more richness. So I've got all the ingredients prepared. I already put the chocolate in here, or the cake mix in here. The recipe calls for 3 eggs. Use it according to your whatever box cake you like. Instead of the vegetable oil, half a cup of vegetable oil, I'm using real butter, which I already melted. And like I said, it's a cup and 1/4 of water. I'm using hot water, so go ahead and mix all your ingredients. Ooh, and I forgot to mention, take a little bit of whatever your cake mix is, put a little bit aside on a dish, and I'll explain why. When you're working with the dish that's really detailed, sometimes it's really hard for it to slip out. So using oil and a little bit of powder, especially around the teeth of the skull, guarantees you that you're gonna get the cake out smoothly and perfectly. So gotta wash my hands now. Give me a moment. So now we're gonna mix the ingredients according to the cake mix. One of the things I've learned that I didn't know for making cake mixes is it actually tells you the exact length of time you should mix it. I think it should be 2 minutes. Let's see, hand beat for 2 minutes. That is because it gives the right amount of air in the pre-mixed cake box, which like I said, I wasn't aware of before. So let's put a timer. Alexa, set timer for 2 minutes.
2 minutes, starting now.
So now that we're all done mixing it, we're gonna oil and, like I said, powder. As you can see, this pan has a lot of little details of the skulls and the nose, so that's what we're gonna do a little bit. You could probably use cocoa powder as well. I just use a little bit of the cake mix, just a little bit to put in there. I actually love using coconut oil when I oil the pans, as well as for a substitute for the vegetable oil, but I couldn't find my coconut oil, so that's why I use butter. And since I can't find my coconut oil, I'm just gonna use this avocado oil spray just to lightly coat. The only thing about this one is this one's really awesome. You can get this one at Costco. It doesn't have aerosols, so I'm gonna mix it a little bit with a paper towel just to make sure that everything's nicely coated, and then I'm gonna dust those fine parts with the chocolate cake mix. So just going through, wiping the avocado oil. I know avocado oil should be fine. It's a mild oil. I don't think it's gonna leave it any flavor. I'm not a fan of olive oil. I've actually once tried baking a cake from scratch with olive oil. I didn't like the flavor it gave. Sorry for all that clatter. And like I said, a little bit of, just kind of sprinkle it over the fine details, just a little bit. You don't need that much. Just because the little teeth is kind of hard to slip out of when you do it. This one's like a non-stick as well, which I absolutely love. I did coat the sides because that's one of the things about working with, I didn't even use all of it, as you can see. It's one of the things when you're working with molds or even bundt cakes, I always have a hard time getting all of that out. One of my coworkers said that there's something that she uses for when she uses bundt cakes, but I gotta look into that. So you're just gonna pour the batter in 3/4. That's usually the standard for cupcakes and any type of mold that you're using. Ooh, I'll go pour it on that one. What's actually really nice about this mold is when you do it, it bakes up nice and round. So the skulls are literally like full 3Ds. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Hopefully I don't have any left over. Ooh, I think I might have some left over. So I'm just gonna pour that in a cake pan. And now that we have our cake molds all poured in, now let's put this baby in the oven. And I'm gonna give it about, I think for cupcakes it says like 20 minutes. So I'm gonna put the timer on for 20 minutes and I'll come check on them and hopefully they'll be done. So like I was saying, when you take them out, I do love that they have a full 3D effect. They do have the nice round ones. I don't know what I was exactly thinking when I went with chocolate. I think if you go with white and white icing, it'll look more like a skull. And then you could fill these little eyes with the dark chocolate. So one of the tricks that I do when I ice these babies is I use regular icing. So, and I just kind of nuke it. Like you want it kind of syrupy. I over nuked it, so I apologize. I took a gamble. I put it in the fridge, so hopefully it's the right consistency. You kind of want it like a syrup. Like, yeah, it's a little bit better. It was a little bit too runny, so you kind of want it a little bit, I guess like a ganache, because really what you want is you want all the little crevices to show. So usually I use another dish. I foil it because it's going to get messy. I could probably do 2 or 3 at a time. And then all you're gonna do is pour it over. And you can use a spoon too if you don't wanna, because sometimes when you pour it completely over, you lose some of it. But what's nice is it does a nice smooth glaze. You still get a lot of the detail of the skull. So I really like this little trick that I've learned. It's quick, it's easy. Let's move on to the other one. Now you see why I foiled the bottom of that dish, because I do not want to clean all that up. So I just foil and wrap off. So Yes, do a white icing and then fill the eyes with the chocolate. That would look so spooky. So let's finish glazing up these babies. So now we're ready. So this is what it's gonna look like. Like I said, if you do not overnuke it like I did, I'm just a little impatient, you'll get a thicker glaze, and you want to go for a slightly thicker glaze, but you'll end up with these beautiful skulls that are shiny. I would you want it a little bit thicker than syrup. You're gonna have to play around with it because I kind of messed up the consistency and I apologize. But what you want is a little bit more than syrup, a little bit more formation, so when you pour it over you'll still get a lot of the details, but it won't be a little bit porous. This one kind of seeped down, but I kind of actually like it because skulls and bones do have natural perforations, but I would recommend go do it in white. Do white icing and then fill the little eyes and the nose with the chocolate. Make sure you can drizzle it in, and then you can always pipe in the teeth detail. I think that would give you the most spookiest delights of treats, and I think your little ghouls and boils would really enjoy it. So thank you for staying and watching this edition of my Halloween special. The next video I'm going to pull out is I'm going to be using the same Nordic skull sheet, except I'm going to be doing Mexican gelatina, which I'm not sure if a lot of people are very familiar with it. It's delicious. It's actually a milk-based gelatin. It's richer. It's got more mouthy feel. I do have tips and tricks for that as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it Dia de los Muertos team, the other 3, and then the other one we'll do also more Halloween, more spooky, more of that. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you subscribe and like this video so that I can make more. And thank you for watching. You guys have a good evening and a very spooky Halloween.